All right, good evening. This is the CSRN podcast, our weekend review, where we talk about some of the things that we've done last week, the things that we're working on right now, and a few things that we got coming up, like the African American Festival. What we're going to do right now is play an intro video. That way you can like, share, comment. This is the CSRN podcast, a weekend review. We'll be right back.
Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.
All right, and we're back. This is the CSRN podcast, our weekend review. And as I said before the intro, we're going to talk about the things that we had experienced last week in the community, the things that we're working on right now, which is getting Jody ready for a really big weekend that he's having. All right. Hey, I don't have anything going on. And also we have a special guest that's come back to give us an update. Let's start with some introductions. I'm Brother Washington Muhammad. I'm one of the co-founders of CSRN and also a registered and active member of the Nation of Islam here in Toledo. And lately, the brothers have been getting out in the community, and that's what's up. What am I wearing today? I've got my brown rim glasses on. I've got a white hat, my white shirt with blue dots, white bracelet. Can you see it? All right. Oh, yeah, that look pretty good. And as always, I'm dedicated to respecting, protecting, and defending all Black bodies, no matter the cost, no matter the gains or loss. This is the home of Black Lives Matter, Injustice or Else. And shout out to Mike Leonardi and Jabril Bey. They had the original idea of community solidarity, where you could bring all of the activists together and we don't have to ask permission to do good. Just show up with some facts, a bullhorn, and make it happen. Jody, we are doing our 10-year victory lap this year, all year. All right, it's not a 10-year weekend. This is a whole year. We just talk about some of our Black Lives Matter moments. But today, what I really want to do is throw it to you. Introduction. We had quite a few viewers last week, and even more when we had Yasin on. So, I kind of taught me something. Hey, you all right? So if you could introduce yourself, we're going to get right into our mission statement. I'll double back with the guiding principles, take a short break, and we'll keep it moving.
What's up, everybody? Jody J. Summers, child of the system, better known as Spoken Truth, the treasurer of this wonderful organization. And as Brother Washington said, we are taking our 10-year victory lap. I'm taking my 9-year victory lap as an independent artist, creator, all that good stuff that you see that this weekend I'm getting honored for.
That's right.
Very, very interesting. I don't actually nominate myself for awards or do stuff. People kind of call me or ask me. I got the word back in February that I would be performing. And then in March, it was like, hey, guess what? You're getting honored too. And I'm like, so I had to keep that secret for a little while, a couple of jabs and stuff throughout the year telling people about it. But I'm very excited to see what this weekend brings. This is the 19th annual African American Awards, and honorees and weekend for the festival, which I have candy and I'm throwing stuff out. But for those of you listening out there that may have never tuned into our show before, and we describe ourselves because we are also on Spotify. We know that this is around the time where you'll be out and doing stuff with your kids or getting off of work. For those of us that do have a 9 to 5, and some of you like listening to our voices, but you need to know who's behind the camera because AI running rapid and all that good stuff. You
That's
never
right.
know. That's why we set up live every single weekend. But I am a big brown bear of a man that is covered in tattoos and crystals and stones and bones and all the artifacts from me going out into the world, being just a normal, average somebody, a simple man, I guess you could say. And then through the process of protest and activism and actually talking to politicians, finding out why they make their policies the way they do, speaking with artists, going to festivals,
That's right.
doing everything, going to Japan and Canada and all the other stuff that makes me, I guess, in the eyes of some people, fearless. For me, it's, hey, time is finite. I don't know when I'll be able to ever do this again. I mean, you only live once and all that good stuff. So that's why we describe ourselves. That's where all of the chains and stuff you see around me, the button-ups that I always wear, my own branding, the staff shirt I'm wearing, a Arts Commission shirt from, wasn't Momentum, it was The Mix, another organization I actually volunteered in decades at, and they give me awards and stuff like that because I don't beg for support or tell people to support me. I show up and do the work.
That's right.
Sometimes it happens. Sometimes it doesn't. There's some other things I got to knock off my list. I'll be happy to be knocking off the Huntington Center.
Okay.
When I became a poet, there was a quote, and one day I'm going to find it on all these social medias where I said I wanted to sell out the Huntington Center. Since everybody talks about big venues and poets can't do blah, 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 said I was going to sell out the Huntington Center through poetry. So, that actually has come true. So, yeah. But how do you get to this point? It's not an overnight thing. It's not something you can throw money at or people at because, we are all humans. We're all flawed. We all have our own lives outside of whatever it is that you're doing. We're the main character in our stuff. So we set up a list of mission statement and
our guiding principles, and that's what's kept us here for these 10 years.
Yes, it is something that you only get to do once in a lifetime. If you miss the moment, like they say, what was happening when the world was burning and everything was falling apart, we were the ones running towards the fire with buckets and signs and hope and
gasoline. All right,
gasoline
just in case. All right.
I learned a lot of skills from that, how to speak to people from all walks of life, not just have an opinion of our own, but you have to listen and communicate with some people. So these are them. We thank you again for every week listening, coming back, trying to be on the show or give us opinions. Remember to leave comments too, because we do come back and check the show out and everything like that. So if you got a question about something, if you want to be a guest on the show, if you got a commercial spot you would love to put on our show, because all this is free. It is not sponsored by nobody. We're not looking for sponsored because we are a community. When we're gone, we don't own any of this. We're just the seats in the chair at the moment.
That's right.
We are the Community Solidarity Response Network of Toledo, formed on November 25th, 2014, the day after it was announced that the killer, a Ferguson, Missouri police officer of Michael Brown, an unarmed teenager, would not be indicted. We bring awareness to the injustices experienced by Black men, women, and children who are disproportionately murdered, provoked, attacked, and harassed by law enforcement. Police brutality has to end. We bring awareness to the fact that most often, police brutality goes without consequence or accountability. Police impunity has to end. We utilize the tactics of protest, civil disobedience, event disruption, and citizen advocacy to give voice to those who are otherwise voiceless. We facilitate progressive, community-based events that help foster self-development, and we discuss measures to hold local leadership accountable to their sworn duties. be they politician, clergy, law enforcement, educators, etc., etc. We want justice, equal justice under the law. We want justice applied equally to all, yes, all, regardless of class, creed, or color. For all lives to matter, Black lives, yes, Black lives must matter. And justice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
All right. And as we get into our guiding principles, these are, I think we came about this in 2015 at the Black Lives
Movement for Black Lives.
For the movement of Black Lives, for Black Lives. And they had, this was a great set of principles. So we took it, made some adaptations and made it our own. These are our guiding principles. All Black lives matter. Queer Black lives, trans Black lives, formerly and presently incarcerated Black lives, poor working class Black lives, differently able Black lives, Black men and women lives, immigrant Black lives, Black elderly and children lives. All Black lives matter and are the creators of this space. We throw no one under the bus. We rise together. Ashe.
Ashe.
And that means one who changes a thing or one who makes a thing happen. Thriving instead of surviving. Our vision is based on the world we want, not the one we're currently in. We seek to transform, not simply react. We want our people to thrive, not just exist. Think beyond the possible. Ashe.
Ashe.
Experimentation and innovation must be built into our work. Embrace the best tools, practices, and tactics, and leave those behind that no longer serve us. Ashe.
Ashe.
Evaluation and assessment must be built into our culture. Critical reflection must be a part of all of our work. We learn from our mistakes and our victories. Ashe.
Ashe.
Principled struggle can exist in a positive environment. We must be honest with one another by embracing direct, loving communication. Ashe.
Ashe.
Love, self-love is practiced in every element of all we do. Love and self-love must be a driver of our work and an indicator of our success. Without this principle and without healing, we will harm each other and undermine our movement. Ashe.
Ashe.
360-degree vision. We honor past struggles and wisdom from elders. The work we do today builds the foundations of movements of tomorrow. We consider our mark on future generations. Ashe.
Ashe.
Self-care means we build resilient spaces by budgeting time, energy, and resources for healing. Self-care is a regular, consistent, intentional, and essential practice. Ashe.
Ashe.
The most directly affected people are experts at their own lives and should be in leadership at the center of our movement and telling their stories directly. Ashe.
Ashe.
Training and leadership development should be fundamental. Our movement must constantly grow and leadership must constantly multiply. Ashe.
Ashe.
Jody, when we talked about self-care, this is kind of like a spur of the moment thing. I think that's important for the work that we're doing. One of the ways that I participate in self-care is either walks. I've got a bike that I ride. And sometimes I just find some quiet time to think about what I'm thinking about. What about you? Because you got a big weekend coming up.
Yep.
You got big weekends every week, really. So what do you do?
I do the same thing. I guess one of the questions that I always get asked when I'm doing one of these things, and you get VIP tickets and stuff like that, who are you bringing? All this. I live alone. Yeah, like I was a foster kid and a whole bunch of other stuff. And actually up until the unspeakable virus 2022, I had roommates, or I would let people stay with me to get back on their feet. But since then, I've been alone. So I get a lot of time to decompress. I normally watch like indie games and stuff like that. I don't do anything that's involving the news. I get enough of that from Facebook. I get enough of that from being an elected official or on boards or involved in the city. One person asked me, if I don't watch the news or read it, how do I know? Because I'm there. It's a lot being all of this stuff, but I enjoy when I go out into my community and someone, because they know I choose to walk, because there's a whole bunch of stuff, but I'd rather, instead of driving around looking all special, I can give some kids book bags. I can do an event. I can make sure that my inventory and my stock is we got some kids excited.
Yeah.
On the show. Did we turn that? We did not turn that on air on side. There we go.
Okay.
Make
All
sure
right.
that we got that on. But yeah, you can see them right there on camera too, walking past and stuff. But yeah, I make sure to live every moment as if it's my last. I don't know. Being in nature and stuff, I was homeless for a decade, so everything that I have right now is a bonus. I have so much in fact, I give away a lot of stuff because my place is a little cluttered. I got boxes upon boxes and newspapers and people that I've met over the years. Some I've only met once, and I wear them. These are things you can buy. I make them now, but I wear them. So when I walk and when I move, if I'm feeling off kilter or something too overwhelming, they make noise, kind of like my old ancestors' chains, to kind of rattle me back into position, knowing that so many people are watching me. Even if they don't tell me, even if they don't come up to me, I'm responsible for someone's inspiration.
That's right.
And if I fail, or if I do something to the point that unbecoming of myself, I don't have my mom, dad, grandmother, anybody else like that to be like, hey, you shouldn't do that. So I'm that person.
It's on you.
It's my example. I kind of became the person I was looking for as a kid growing up. So I'm responsible for that kid.
All right. That's what's up. Hey, listen, we're going to take a short break. We're going to come back with our special guest. We didn't put him in the in our title because we wanted you to be surprised. All right.
But I'm going to look at camera too, just to make sure that we know this is about support. Oh, they can see me take. I keep forgetting the angle of camera too. But that right there, you've seen him on the show a couple times. He's going to be our special guest. I got a special something. See, you won't get these. One thing. Wait, let me see if that's the right angle. Yeah. You won't get these unless you actually meet the author. Signed autograph copy. And you can check out the new bling on my wrist, as he was talking about the strongest and stuff like that. So let me go do my producer job and take pictures.
All right. This is the CSRN podcast, our weekend review. We'll be right back.
Canal. En esta hermosísima ciudad de Orlando.
I'm here in Barranquilla, Colombia, and in sunny Miami. Daytona Beach, mis amigos, that's where we're at today.
Desde la ciudad de Cartagena, Colombia.
We are in Orlando right now, here in Florida.
I'm Helene Sheets, Director of Marketing and Communications at beautiful Lourdes University, and we've been a proud sponsor and supporter of Voces Latinas TV for over a decade. It has been a fantastic partnership. It's been our doorway into the Latino community. We've met so many incredible people, created so many partnerships. Our students absolutely love the connections we've made through Voces Latinas TV, and we're looking forward to at least another decade, 2 decades.
All right, we are back. This is the CSRN podcast, our weekend review, where we come to you live, streaming live from Mott Branch Library. And shout out to the staff here at Mott Branch, or Mott Conda as they call it. They always roll out the red, black, and green carpet whenever we step into the place. So what are we doing today? Well, our CSRN tradition is whenever we have someone special or someone we like or both, we always ask them who they are, what are they wearing, and what are we talking about today. So today is no different than any other day. Who are you? What are you? I know, but they don't know.
They see
and who are you? What are you wearing, and what are we talking about today?
Okay, so I am Yasin Muhammad, the author of the book known as Fabled 5. You can find it on Amazon. I am wearing a jean jacket with the sleeves cut off. I'm wearing a burgundy shirt, a black and burgundy hat, and my shirt has a skull on it. I don't have any adornments. I have this marker here and some pins on my collar.
All right. So the last time that you were here, we were just talking about the was it the rolling out the Fable 5?
Yeah. So well, I think this is one of the few times in a while that everyone's seen me without the full bonfire costume.
That's correct. That's correct.
So basically, this is my Clark Kent look. So
all right.
So when I'm not superheroing, this is how I look to fool the masses.
All right. So has it been maybe a couple of weeks?
It's been a couple of weeks.
All right.
Yeah, it has to have been a couple of weeks since the first time you had me on. I mean, not the first time, but the first time I debuted my book on here.
All right, so we've got the book.
We have the book.
It's on the screen.
It's on the screen. Super easy. All you gotta do is go on Amazon, type in Fable 5 Part 1, and you're gonna find this lovely photo created by a lady named Katie Witchart, or as she is now known as Vanity Art. So she is the genius behind this book cover. I love the book cover. Really, I'm doing my best to one day get a big blown up poster of this art in my room. I got a couple big prints in my room, but I want this one.
All right. So my next question is: the book is out.
The book is out.
Have you heard any feedback regarding? I've got a copy, or I've got my wife's copy that I've commandeered. I've Yusuf'd it. All right,
Right.
Yusuf. And I read what's it called? The first part called
it's called a prologue. That is like kind of like I guess for some people it's like just a little story before you get into the big story. It's kind of like an appetizer of what you're going to get into. Since my book is maybe a little different from how most people read a book. You see, in my book, I have 5 main characters, and in each chapter is sort of divided into a few sections, which with each character getting their own spotlight, their own kind of. It's almost like have you ever seen like a rap song, and it features different artists, and each artist has their own spot. Maybe no one else is rapping while they're rapping, or they rap together. But so basically, in the book, each character, at least the Fable 5 characters, each have their own spotlight in the book. So you get to read from their perspective and see how they feel about a certain situation from how they see it. And that just kind of brings a big light to the book. How like the apocalyptic world really affects them, or what other things affect them that the other characters just may not know. I think it kind of helping me out, kind of figure out a way to build a bigger world, because this book isn't the biggest this world is gonna get.
Okay, so I wanted to ask this about the book. So if you get the book, don't just skip to the back of the book. Read it from cover to cover.
Yeah.
So when you're introducing the characters, does it matter who's first, who's second? What made you come up with how you introduce them?
What gave me the idea, because at first this book was only going to be from one perspective, from the character Red Eye Dan, and Bonfire was just going to be his like tag along character.
Okay.
So there was really only going to be 2 characters, and Red Eye Dan was just going to be the main character. But along the way, I just thought that I feel like this book is feels a little bit too big for it to only have a few characters. So I kind of made a couple more, dragged some out from some old art that I had when I was a kid, and I just kind of implemented them in the story. So what kind of gave me the idea to can you repeat the question? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was talking about the
The order of the
of
characters.
and how they're introduced.
The order is more so order of importance. So Red Eye Dan is usually the first character. Bonfire is the second, Liberation's the third, Rockstar's the fourth, and Strongest Man's the fifth. They go by order, at least for me, and sometimes it might not be like that, but in the prologue, it is like that.
Yeah,
And
that's what I was. That's why I brought
so
that
in the
up.
prologue, the book is like that because I introduced the characters in order of when they were created, like in the story, of like the context of how I made the characters. So the characters are just kind of in a row of like their creation or their debut of like how of who I made first or who was most important. Not that any characters are going to feel unimportant. There's just certain characters that are really important. Even a little spoiler alert in the part two of the Fable 5 book, because I know you see that this is part one. Part two is definitely going to feel a little bit more of a bonfire story because, as I said before, it was only going to be him and Dan. So really, Dan and Bonfire are going to get just a little more love, but like all side characters, like Rock Lee, Gohan, and Ace from One Piece, you may end up falling in love with the side characters that you see because of their limited time.
Okay. Is there for the author?
For the author, go ahead.
Is there is there some of your personality in each character? If so, how I know that you're like Bonfire, all right? Because
yes.
I know you in real life. So how are you like Red Eye Dan? How are you like Liberation? How are you like Rockstar? And how are you like Strongest Man? And I think I need to get some type of fist bump because I knew all the characters.
That's
a
really here.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
So how am I like a Red Eye Dan? I feel like we all have a Red Eye Dan in us. The Red Eye Dan is a character born from just an unknowable past. He's a character that was created with like fractured memories and stuff, all on purpose, so he won't realize who he is or won't be able to take advantage of certain things in his life, so he'll be subservient. But Red Eye Dan is kind of that cry for helping that you've ever had. I'm sorry, I don't want to be a dour in this explanation, but it's kind of that Red Eye Dan, sort of that cry for help that we all sort of needed. And instead of the world answering the call, you answered the call on your own. I'm sorry.
I guess that means that it's almost time to close it on out.
Yeah.
So okay, so that's Red Eye Dan and how he relates to you.
Bonfire is more so. So again, I always want to tell people this: Bonfire is not me, but Bonfire is me. He physically looks like me. He's more so modeled after how I looked in when I was 17 in kind of high school. Sort of a small character, short character. He's in canon of the story. He is exactly 5'4". I was never 5'4" at that age, but I just always viewed myself as a short guy. I don't mind it. I'm a short king. But he is just a short character, always trying to do the right thing. I think that's the most important part of the character, is that even though he's not perfect, he's just trying to do the right thing. And whether it comes off as good, bad, or naive, he still tries. And he's a very smart character, but I always like smart characters that make mistakes.
Okay, so there's different stages of him on the screen. There's the Ashra one.
So,
and how's that different from the first one that we saw?
So like base form. If you ever watch Dragon Ball Z, there are terms. There's the term is called base form. His base form is the Afro one. Ashra 1 multiplies his power by 10. He is a multi-continental threat, which means can even be almost a life wiper, which means he can decimate life on a single planet, but not completely destroy a planet.
All right, and then there was
Ashura 2, which makes him he's in the tier of being a planet destroyer. Although he doesn't do that. I'm a big Goku fan, and I will go into comment sections and say, but can he be Goku though?
Okay.
So as a person reading this book, I want you to understand where that is, so you can compare and contrast these characters against other characters for fun and for my own amusement as well.
All right, there's an
Ashura 3. Ashura 3 is go hard or go home kind of form. I don't know if you know, but the hair sort of resembles a bull horns kind of.
Right.
So
I see that.
Yeah, I wanted that whole unleashed kind of form. It is a multiplier of 10, and now he can I kind of say he clashes with the sun, which means that he can output the same energy as our actual sun, because the other forms just don't. They're just kind of hot, but the white form is the one that actually he ascends to the level of the actual sun.
All right, so how are you and Liberation alike?
Liberation is just that need to feel understood, I guess, or it could be the need to understand others. As Liberation is not traditionally human. He was human, but then he died and then became a Grim Reaper. He died very young, and he is canonically 16 years old, although he may not look it. But he is but yes, so he is more so that feeling because I wrote this when I was 16, so that feeling of wanting to be understood and understanding others is kind of what Liberation is. But I didn't want to represent that with the insecure character. I wanted to represent with the coolest looking character, and I always thought Liberation was the coolest looking character, at least for me.
Okay, now there's the Revelation form.
Revolution, the Revolution.
Did I say Revelation?
Yeah, we're not in the Bible yet.
all right, okay. Hey, that's the next book.
Yeah.
Hey,
all
Fable
right.
5 Revelation.
Yeah, something
See
like
there?
that. Okay,
Send all proceeds.
Now I got to give them money. Thanks, guys.
That's what's up.
So On-Site is basically his true self. Every Reaper in training, their goal is to become an eventual Grim Reaper and unleash their true self. So most Reapers don't do this. So Liberation is a very strange Reaper. So when he goes into his On-Site form, which I think is a cool name because it's on site. It is like,
okay, I got that.
Yeah, it's very like literal. So yeah, he becomes at least 1,000 times stronger than he already was. And his base form kind of equals or is a bit over Ashura 3 of Bonfire. So his base form is not equal to Bonfire's base form. There's big tiers, and there's some tiers in power to which the characters are comparable, but Ashura 3 and On-Site are not on the same tier.
All right, this is great because we could save the audio from this, and we can just have a playback of all of the characters and how they relate to you. All right, so we're at
Rockstar.
We're at Rockstar.
Rockstar lifestyle. Mike, don't make it. Okay.
All right. So how is
that's a Gucci name bar?
Yeah, I heard that, and I was trying not to sing it along with you. All right, and embarrass myself further.
It's okay. Don't worry about it. I'll do it for both.
How do you relate to Rockstar, and how does Rockstar relate to you?
You want to know a real fun secret?
What's the real fun secret?
Rockstar is literally my favorite character I possibly have ever created, and it's not for like no deeper meaning. I know people love like nuanced characters. I know people love their tragic, edgy characters. But then but writing Rockstar, I'm like, okay, your nuanced character is pretty cool, but watch this character run at the speed of sound and punch your favorite character into the dirt. I don't know. I just love Rockstar's upbeat energy. If you ever met me, or I don't know if you see it now, I can be a really high energy person. And I'm diagnosed with ADHD and all that, blah 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 blah. I'm blessed with ADHD, not diagnosed. I was blessed with it. ADHD is the thing that helps me write my books. It helps me get in that hyperactive writing mode, that hyperactive story, that hyperactive action that's in this story. And Rockstar is definitely that one character that is just keeps making the story go fast. The character The character is a very active character. She causes she causes good and bad things to happen, but I just love Rockstar. She is my, if I can pull all the ADHD out my body and put it into one character, that is Rockstar.
Oh, that's awesome.
Rockstar is awesome.
Never heard ADHD. Sound cool. All right, all right. Maybe I need to go and get me some. All right. So we're down to Curtis Brute, strongest man. Lastly, how does Curtis Brute and Yasin Muhammad, how are they alike?
That's a funny question. I hated writing Curtis Brute when I was a kid, but now that I'm an adult, I love writing Curtis Brute. I just like writing this guy that's just like, he's not fed up with kids, but it's just like he has that overwhelming sense of responsibility. And although when you're the kids, like either you're looking after, or like the younger or the youth that you're either looking after, or just like you may have some nieces or nephews, you just kind of look out for them because you just kind of have to. And sorry, there's like a gnat in my face. I'm sorry, I know you see me blowing. But Strongest Man is definitely a character that was freed by Rockstar in like a jail cell. So he begrudgingly and into his own like entertainment, he has followed her around. I like big strong characters with hyperactive characters. I just find that hilarious. But with Strongest Man, I love that sense of responsibility in the story. Since most superhero parents die and stuff, I kind of wanted Strongest Man to kind of just be that sense of responsibility. When the leader of the group, may be having trouble, Strongest Man is there to be like, okay, hold on, I see you're having trouble. How about we think about it from this way? So he's sort of like not really much so of not like a secondary leader, but he's like that wisdom that you need in the group. There's difference between being a leader and a guy with wisdom. Some people with wisdom are just like assistants or an advocate. But I like the character because he has wisdom or at least has more experience in life than the other characters. But I relate to Strongest Man because he's something I would probably I do aspire to be, not physically, but just that someone that you can rely on. And who's more reliable than this giant black man with big muscles?
All right. Hey, listen, we got the book right here, available on Amazon. Let's put up this is the real deal. At one point it was a thought, and then it was on a few sheets of paper. It kind of reminds me of how Jody started. All right.
Oh yeah.
He started from the bottom too. But now it's here. Right. Fable 5, part 1. Get yours. Either go to Yasin Writes, go to the website. You can find him on Instagram. You can find him on Facebook. Direct message him, and he'll bring a book to you, or you can order it from Amazon.
Yeah, that's funny you say about me bringing the book. As Jody showed you, I came here with good tidings, like a skinny Santa Claus, and got him a book and got him this book. I always like actually giving people the book by hand. I really what I really like about doing that is you never know if I'll show up in full costume or not. I think now more than ever, am I going to probably ask people if they want to show up to their doorstep in full costume, whether they may like it or not. But I want to give people that really cool experience. I think one of my friends came over a few days ago, and I was in full costume, and they're like, "Whoa, like you actually did do that?" I'm like, "Yeah, of course I did that." And so the full bonfire costume is so cool. I have a liberation costume. I should probably debut that in here one day when I come back. It's just a lot more to put on, but I will definitely do that for CSRN. I love cosplaying. But,
all right, and before you go, we put up a picture of I think we got a picture of you and Jody. Let's put it up.
How'd y'all get that?
I don't know how we got it. We took it in the studio.
Yeah. You just uploaded it.
It pops up. There we go. Just like that. And hopefully, can we count on you coming back one more time as you continue on your journey to write this, to write and market and promote, can we count on you to come back at another time and just tell us how things have progressed?
You said one more time. No, I'm this ain't like, again, this is part one. I'm gonna probably be here as long as you're here. I'm gonna be here. But yeah, I think next time I'm gonna show up in my second Fable 5 outfit with Liberation. I actually have the full outfit. I usually have another guy that cosplays him because he's taller, but I can give it a go and wear the costume. It's just gonna be hot. I'm just gonna be hot, but I'll do it. But I'll do it. I'll do it for likes and stuff.
All right. Well, look, we're gonna let you go. We got Jody Summers coming back. We're gonna top some loose ends. We've got the African American Festival to talk about. Well, the African American Festival weekend to talk about, and a few others. Hey, thanks, Yasin. Thanks for making it out. This you. We'll be right back.
Did you know addiction is a disease, not a moral dilemma? The opioid epidemic and substance use have a major impact on communities of color and many people's lives. Wasion Wellness Recovery Support Center offers culturally relevant, inpatient and outpatient behavioral health treatment and recovery support services to any Ohioan struggling with addiction, mental health, or finding sober, safe housing. We must recognize that treatment is available and accessible to all. If you are in need of treatment or want to find out more information, you can call 1-888-728-2713 to talk to someone or schedule an appointment.
Now you can get the same uncompromising truth you've come to expect from the Final Call newspaper on all your connected devices. Subscribe to the Final Call Digital Edition today. Go to subscribe.finalcalldigital.com.
All right, we are back. This is the CSRN podcast, our weekend review. Big shout out to Yasin Muhammad and the book Fable 5 Part 1. Let me just put it up one more time. Check it out. It's on Amazon. You can also reach Yasin on all of the social media platforms, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, whatever. Just put his name in and something to drop down and get that book. All right. Toledo's own Yasin Muhammad. We are back, Jody. I need to tie up some loose ends.
Yep.
I want to talk about, let me put it up on the screen. I want to talk about this. Let me get my cheat sheet.
Awesome.
If you don't know what this is,
that's an interesting looking vehicle there.
Yeah, this is a MRAP.
No reason for that to be driving down the street in Toledo.
No.
Even if people on LaGrange.
All right. Hey, don't mess with my people on LaGrange. All right. Oh, man. Hey, family, on this Wednesday, July 17th, City Council is set to vote on the ordinance that will allow the Toledo Police Department to accept an armored military vehicle known as an MRAP. This is happening at 3 p.m. and we're asking everyone to come out and say what you need to say about how Toledo gets its free toys. And just because it's free, the maintenance of it isn't. Just because it's free, it's still military weaponry given to local police departments, and that's a problem. At one point, I heard that someone in the police department said that, well, we can use it for emergencies. Family, look, they're not using it for emergencies. They're not using it to get people out of a flood. They're not using it to challenge a tornado. It's going to be used once again the same way things were used in 2020.
I mean, he just got this all-star shot this weekend.
So show up. Oh, also you can call if you can. I don't know. You can call and leave your messages at 419-245-1050 to just protest this. I'm going to be there tomorrow. I've got some things to say. I think they give us 2 or 3 minutes.
Okay. I think I'll plan on being in the building too.
Right. And I'm going to use all of my 3 minutes to talk about the last time that they decided to, how can I say this? The last time they wanted to prevent people from speaking truth to power, and they were sued. All right. And they had to settle out of court because they were wrong. So what do they want to do? They want to double down with a armored military vehicle, as if that's going to make it better. It's almost like petting a cat with a hammer.
Yep.
It's not going to go right. So join us tomorrow.
Fly with a missile.
Yeah, join us tomorrow, 3 p.m., One Government Center. Sign up for it. I'm signing up. I'm going to be in the house. What's next, Jody? I wanted to give a shout out to the Padua Center. On July 13th, we had our Padua summer party that's right in Kwanzaa Park, the corners of Nebraska and Junction. It was from 11 to 4. Big shout out to Coach Dixon, Coach E, and the Mystery Music. They turned it out, and all of the vendors that showed up. And lastly, there is, I got this business card in my pocket. I said I was going to shout this lady out. Nope, that's money. Hope my wife won't find out that I got more money than I was supposed to have.
Well, that's the best thing about cash is like stuff you don't have to tell the government you're doing.
Right across the street from us is a place called Compassion Health Toledo, or Compassion Toledo Health. I didn't know, Jody, that this is not just a women's health center, although they focus on women's health, but it's a clinic where if you have a little money, you can get services. If you have no money, you can get services. And they offer mental health, substance abuse, women's health, and so many other things to this. And it's right here. It is right here, and I had no idea that it was right in our backyard. Right in our backyard.
There's a lot of things in our backyard people take for granted and try and go other places or say Toledo isn't doing anything progressive, but yeah, every single weekend you got anywhere from 15 to 25, 30 events. Again, we're going to go down the list of the stuff because we are going to focus on the African American Festival, but there are many other events going on.
Right. And another one of those events happening Saturday is the Nation of Christ presents People Against Police Brutality. Police brutality, it don't stop, and we don't want, we want accountability. They cannot continue enforcing the law the way that they are. So on Saturday, we're meeting up at noon at Promenade Park. We're marching to the police station on Erie. We'll start the march at 12:30. Show up. If you got signs, bring them. If you got a bullhorn, bring that. If you got some energy, bring that. And join us. The people that are sponsoring, I think Prophet is leading this. So be there. A few other groups are going to be there along too. And also for tomorrow, if you bring signs, I don't think that they allow signs in City Hall. At one point, we were able to bring signs in. So if you're listening to us, they don't allow you to bring signs in.
Yeah, there's a different procedure because of 2020. And before 2020, you can go down to city council or the one government building and not have a pat down, a search, or anything like that. But, the world is becoming a place where, yes, we want to keep our civil servants safe and all that stuff. So, some things you just got to accept.
And next, a shout out to the I'd say the number one Black newspaper on the planet, the Final Call newspaper. This week's focusing on the weather and the warning. Something is strange that's happening, with the weather in America and all over the planet. And I think one of the things that we can do is better prepare, when disaster does, but when it does. So there's some really interesting articles in this week's edition of the Final Call. Hopefully we're going to have some of the brothers out at the African American Festival. Hopefully we'll have some of the brothers at the One Nation of Christ march, and then and get it in. And lastly, what did I want? I wanted to mention the Black Men's Wellness Walk. That's happening next month, August 17th. I think you're going to be walking from Scott High School. I was glad to be able to participate last year. And for Black men, this is something that a lot of us as Black men, we push to the side. We say what we don't know won't hurt us. We say that I don't want to get an exam like that because it's not manly. And we're dying because of our ignorance. Jody, we're dying because of our vanity. And some of us are too old to be resistant. All right. We're too old.
And that's the interesting thing to speak of on the 17th, because on the 17th is also one of the events that we're sponsoring, being the Park Jam. But, before you go out, see Adina Howard and go out park jamming and stuff, you should come to the Black Men's Wellness Day.
Right. And the honorary chair is our brother, Dr. Carnell Smith. So come and support that brother. And on the same day is the Strictly R&B Park Jam. And man, they got a dynamic sponsor too, I heard.
Yeah.
CSRN. All right, so we're part of the sponsor group for the R&B Park Jam. Hopefully we're going to get Tracy to come out next week.
That would
to
be awesome.
on. So we can promote this. Family, they're doing it themselves, and they're doing it big.
And unfortunately, it is not a free event because that is the rules of the park. So if you're like, where it should be, no, because that involves a lot of stuff. The park is technically not ours and all that. So they do have a 2-year contract, and these are what they demand if you want to be on the waterfront. So,
and family, even if it was at no cost, it costs to bring Bobby V. It costs to bring Case. It costs to bring Adina. These people are not gassing up their cars in their planes and driving places
for
free. So come on, let's support the Strictly R&B Park Jam so that we can get more quality things in our community.
Yes.
All right. I think that I want to wrap up with that, and I want to talk to you about the prayer breakfast. That's the next thing that's coming up. That's this week. That's Friday.
That is Friday.
For the people that got tickets, that have tickets like myself, because I got it like that. What can we expect at the prayer breakfast?
That's a very good question you asked right there.
Yeah, because you're the important one. You are the honorary. Matter of fact, we even put, where's that picture at?
Do we have the latest one? There are 11 honorees.
Oh, we're not talking about the 11 honorees. We are only talking about one. We're talking about one. It's going to come up on your screen in a couple of seconds. We're talking about one.
So,
talking about one honoree. All right.
I'm doing the whole trifecta, getting everything out of the way for the rest of the year. Again, you've seen me on stage. You'll see me in a movie at the end of the year. That'll be on Hulu and streaming services and stuff like that. Of course, you know about the poetry and the books and the dream boxes and all the other stuff. But I'm, I guess, a fairly good performer. I am going back for the 4th time as the best storyteller in the entire country, and the 2nd time as the best male spoken word artist in the entire country. So this is kind of, it's just desserts. I'm not getting a 20 under 40. Hey, Toledo. But this is just actually better than that, because this is our community, our people that actually see us. The sponsors always come later. So I think it's a good thing in seeing that you can come from anywhere. I think I'm the only poet on the honoree list of like normal people besides the sponsors and stuff like that. But there are 11 of us, so all of you guys are going to get something from my personal collection on top of whatever our award might look like. I'm still very interested to try and find a space to put that, but there's going to be a breakfast. I'm pretty sure we're all going to give maybe a couple minute speech. It's going to be at the Glass Pavilion right there on Monroe, across the street from the main art museum. And then the next day is the big day, because I have to do the whole trifecta, get it done and all the way out the board. So I am grand marshaling the parade. You can see my picture right there from, I don't think it was last year, because I think last year we had an event, but the year before, I've been in the parades.
Right up front with that sign.
Right up front.
Be your own people. Go ahead.
Showing my true colors here, adjusting my chain right there.
Yes,
and stuff
sir.
like that. But
it's all good, bro.
It's
all good.
Every parade, from the Old West End, the African American Festival. There's another parade that I do during the Juneteenth parade. So this is the first time that I'll be grand marshaling one.
All right.
Which, still don't know exactly how that goes. I don't think I'll be walking. I'm still gonna have my stick. I think I get a vehicle.
I think you'll probably be the first person that we're gonna throw stuff at. All right. So yeah, good for you. All right. Hey, listen. So here's how it's gonna go down. We've got the prayer breakfast. This is the Jody trifecta. All right, if I'm correct. On Friday, there's the prayer breakfast. You'll be acknowledged and honored there.
Yep.
The following day, we turn right back around, and we've got the African American Festival Parade, where you are the Grand Marshal.
I'm the Grand Marshal. I'll be giving away candy and crystals. I just got my last selection in and stuff like that. So I'm going to make about 20, 25 crystals. Come up to me. I'm not throwing a crystal at you. So this is kind of forewarning. It's on my page too. So come up to me and be like, hey, and stuff like that, you know, but you might get a crystal out of my magic bag satchel thing.
All right. And last for the trifecta is the Saturday night opening acts.
Yes.
All right. So we started on Friday. The very next day in the morning or early afternoon, we have the African American parade.
Yep.
And then you're going to be up all day. All right.
Yeah. I'm used to it. This is what 10 years of traveling around, doing open mics, doing paid shows, speaking to children. I feel super LeVar Burton-ish about how I came out into activism and stuff like that. And now, there's a reel going around now. I read to your children and do art classes with them and then show them that there is another way than sports or having to be a doctor or all this other stuff. But, you know, never forget, I'm still very angry, all that stuff. But I have a set performed for there. I have a 25 to 30 minute set. I do ask everybody, and you can ask me personally, you can go down on the page to vote for me in the National Spoken Word Awards. This is probably going to be the last big push towards me bringing that trophy home to Toledo, Ohio. 4 times as a child, I keep telling myself. So hopefully, if you haven't voted, make sure you vote. You can only vote once. This isn't one of them contests where you have to pay to get votes and stuff like that. It's your IP address. You vote who you like, even if it's not me. Vote for somebody. There are a lot of poets from all over the world, actually, because they have an international thing for that. But I'll be performing my set. I can't tell you what position, but if you got your ticket, you're gonna find out I'm somewhere near the top of there. And
Okay.
after I leave the stage, cool down, do my decompression and all that stuff, I'll be at my vending table with my books and my crystals and stones, the artwork, the hoodies, the hats, all the stuff that came from my words only, my voice and being able to be heard through my community. So I'm really honored. Some people was like, you should be more excited. I am, but you know, this for me is also being humble enough to help somebody when they do get to that, they're not big headed. It's one day. I'm being honored. I'm very happy. It's not gonna happen again. So get it out the way, and hopefully maybe next time I'll take something else. I'm going to be performing at the Huntington Center, which is one thing off of my bucket list from 10 years ago. I said I was going to do, and nobody believed that just a simple guy from Toledo, Ohio would be able to do all of this without some extras, without family, and all of that stuff. So that's going to be awesome. There is an after party. It's on my page at Toll House. Proceeds from the after party go to help the Frederick Douglass Center. That whole effect of everything is going on, and I look forward to it. Look forward to meeting everybody. Some people actually remembering what my name is because I do have several of them.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. All right. Before we get into, were we going to get into pay some bills and do 5 minutes of heat?
Do some 5 minutes of heat, but I'm still going to give everybody updates on not only what happened last week, but coming up this week.
How about this? Let's do some updates. And I wanted to put this picture up too.
Oh,
Is this the right picture?
let's see.
I think it is. Yeah,
Yeah.
all of the nominees.
That
All
is
of
all of the nominees. We actually got that the other day with as you see the first person start off. You just go in the
Okay.
loop. I'm not sure how it's organized, but as I've looked over it a couple of times, it looks like these are at the top, the very community members and stuff like that. As you go along or below that, you got some boards and some other people. And then below that is some people that actually work at the bank very diligently and hard that deserve recognition themselves.
All right, that's great. Yeah, I know Shariva. I think I know. Yeah, I think I probably met all the
I think
people.
I've met just about everybody on there. I'm pretty sure I've seen Karen Poor because politics and stuff, but it'd be nice to meet maybe George.
George,
I may not know George, but I think throughout the years we've pretty much met everybody on this list. So I'm happy to be and honored to be one of the honorees.
Yeah, big shout out to John Hobbs. Shout out to Bishop Dr. Pat McKinstry and Shariva Sutton.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, and the only thing that's missing, I don't see my picture on there. All right.
Well, you go.
Yeah.
Well, you gonna be in the audience. I made
All
sure as
right,
part
that's
of my Coming to Frog, let's put the band back together, Blues Brothers style. I put a good collection of people who have been there with me since the beginning or are supportive and are also hold me accountable to stuff. I don't want people around me who's just going to be yes men or anything like that. Because, I'm an Aries. Sometimes I can be toxic. I'm mostly leaving in my books, in my art. But we all need those people to reel us back to say, hey, chill.
Yeah.
So,
and he speaks the truth. He speaks the truth, but you can be reeled back. But we need an extra rod to reel you back. But that's what's up. That's what's up, Jody. And really, brother, from man to man, most people have to put on different airs to be acknowledged. Some people have to pay to be acknowledged and like people that they don't like and say things that they don't mean to be acknowledged. And I've just seen you for the last 10 years that I've known you. You've never had to switch up. You don't have as many suits as I have because I always have to switch up. All right. I've got a code switch. I got to make sure that I keep the temperature so that I don't lose people. Man, brother, you've just been 10 toes down, as real as it could get. and this being the grand marshal, being acknowledged with that group of people. All
Yeah.
right, you're not just being acknowledged by me; those of us in the trenches and in the gutters.
I'm the only
Yeah,
artist,
that's what's up,
multimedia,
man.
creative. We'll have to start a new category.
Yeah,
awards and
absolutely,
stuff
bro.
because of that.
Absolutely.
But that's there, and I'm very honored because there are so many talented artists in the city of Toledo, and I look forward to coming back many years as an alumni. I guess I can say I'll be an alumni now.
That's right.
And congratulating other artists and poets and authors and creatives on keeping the world beautiful, keeping the world sane. It's a very beautiful thing to do what you love and not have to switch. I am coming to the parade like I always do. I am getting honored. I'll put on a black button up, but that's about it.
Okay,
when you
all
see
right,
me
that's
on
what's up.
stage.
All right.
You're gonna see my staff. You're gonna see my boots and all that stuff. I'm not a dress. This is my super suit.
Yes, sir. All right. I wanted to get into some of the things that we've done last week and some of the things that you believe and we believe that people need to know about. And then we'll pay some bills. And then I think the last thing that I need to do is just remind people of the Eden Garden. I'll put that picture up a little bit later. But what are some of the things that you've seen that we want the people to know about?
Yep. And this again is just a list of some of the past things that I hope you attended or maybe plan to attend next year. Some of them might be recurring, but always give people their accolades while you can, that giving the flowers and stuff. So there was the AAF Toledo Networking Happy Hour at 1001 Riverside, Toledo, Ohio. That was a networking event for people, entrepreneurs, business owners, all that good stuff. Second annual Toledo Plant Festival was at Whiteford Greenhouse. We had Saturday, July 13th was the 2024 Boom Fest. I actually was able to go out to Oregon and attend that and everything. There was also Flow Rider downtown. I heard that concert did well and stuff too. So in all, it's to make the city better. Doesn't matter what side of town it's on. I want Toledo to be prosperous and everything like that and continuing to grow. Saturday, there was the Uncloistered Poetry Live where I got to somewhat semi-perfect my set that I'll be doing, which is going to be somewhat a series of evolution through Black history. That's what I'm kind of doing my set, from Broken Clock to Simple Man and the years and everything in between. On Sunday, there was the Phoenix Rising, a garden potluck fundraiser. Again, there's not everything I can make. A lot of stuff I would wish I could make, but I can't. So I hope that was all great and everything, celebrating the life of Candace Rose McGillen. That happened. There was the Swell magazine launch party at the Attic on Adams. Season 2, show 2 of Toledo's Top Talent at the Imagination Station. You had the Summer Comedy Blast and Out of the Shadows virtual book launch, which a friend of mine, Rochelle, she does dance and a whole bunch of other empowerment things like that. So I hope all of those events went well. Now, for the upcoming, I think we talked about the festival enough, but one more time ain't gonna hurt. So again, this weekend is the African American Festival. Make sure you're there. If you haven't got a prayer ticket, I believe they are sold out, and they is very close to being sold out at the Huntington Center. So make sure you get your tickets. Don't wait till last minute. There may not be none at the door. I don't even know if they're doing door sales at the Huntington Center, but there's all of that. There's the after party at Toll House, and coming up, there is a few other things. So I know there is the Monique Ward is doing something at M. Osteria. So that is going on. Let's see, upcoming events. Yeah. So besides the 19th annual African American Festival, there is also Dreaming of Poetry book signing at 3716 Hill. I'm not sure the author on that, but if you can make it to that, and it's Kings and Queens of Acting question and answer panel. So that, I believe they said, is like a $50 thing. The guy from Bad Boys movie is going to be there, plus Crystal Monique, and our very own Charlie Mack is going to be telling you about the industry and all of that great stuff. There's the African American Festival, okay, after party at Toll House, and Enchanted Forest Masquerade Ball, 1815 Adams Street. That's this Saturday at 8 p.m. Monday. If you have heard about the great things happening in the film industry in Toledo, as we just shot a couple of movies here, and you would want to know how to get into acting or casting calls and stuff like that, Monday, 6 p.m. is our summer mixer. So Film Toledo, Toledo Talent, and a whole bunch of other organizations, Michael Cullen and some other people will be there. If you wanted to know about what's going on with filming and the upcoming future next year, we do get an increase of $25 million for people to come here.
Oh, that's what's up.
And shoot our beautiful city. Last thing's going on, Tech Night Tuesday at Toll House. That does come back next week. And before we come back, Tarta Experience and Act Information Night, 5605 Monroe, Sylvania, Ohio at 3 p.m. July's Professional Networking Mixer, that's at 23 North Summit, kind of like the AAF thing. So if you're trying to get in business, you're trying to meet people here in the city, you may be new, you may just be wandering out of your circle, I would implore you to do that. And also next Saturday is the open mic night. We have a trauma set performance, benefits and proceeds going into that at Harmony House Cafe, 4227. There's a long list of poets. There'll be an open mic. I am doing a specific set on trauma because, you know, you've been following my career. I've been very good at disseminating that and making people feel better. So I hope to see you out at one of these events. And to end the month, Jeep Fest is coming up. So you got your little rubber duckies and all that stuff. Jeep Fest is August 1st through the 4th.
All right. And family, if you like what we do, we'd like you to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, listen to us on Spotify, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and follow us on Twitter, or X, formerly known as Twitter. If you want to support us, you can support us via Cash App, hashtag CSRN 419, or PayPal CSRN 419. Inboxes for our Black Lives Matter signs. This weekend, we sold quite a few of the Defund the Police signs. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're trying to get up to 100,000 subscribers so that they'll send us that plaque in the mail. Hopefully nobody will take it when it's on my porch. All right, porch pirates get me. And as always, like, subscribe, share, and comment. And if you like gardening, we have our Black Lives Matter garden, but it's the Eden Urban Garden, and you'll know it's ours because we have the Defund the Police signs in front and the Black Lives Matter signs in front. Join us 300 block of Boston Place, 4 to 6 p.m. Jody, you brought us the coffee grounds and all of the stuff that's helping the garden grow. We started this year with just soil because we don't use dirt.
Yes.
Now we've got the zucchinis growing. We've got the peppers growing. We've got the tomatoes. What else we've got? We've got the cabbage. We've got the okra. We've got the broccoli. We've got the green beans. I'm trying to think of what else we've got. We've got the squash. And we got the potatoes coming too. So, and also that's some good self-care too.
Yeah.
Almost next to last, still shout out to the American Muslims for Palestine and continue to fight for freedom and fight to not be occupied by the illegal state of you know what that's happening and going down right now. Jody, I think I done said all that I really need to say, and whatever I didn't say, I will make sure I come back next week and say it. And don't forget to join us 3 p.m. downtown City Council to speak out against the Toledo Police Department getting a free toy that's going to most likely be hundreds of thousands of dollars to maintain and potentially roll over on me one day. So, hey, we got a chance to get in front of this family. Let's show up. All right. Lastly, Jody, we talked about the trifecta of the prayer breakfast, the parade, then later on at the comedy, you know, in the comedy club,
Yeah.
and the after party. So you're going to be busy. We always close out with something that's always creative. We call it 5 minutes of heat, where we just don't close out with a gavel. We use creative expression. And for years, you have been the go-to person for 5 minutes of heat, and that's adapted from the 5 minutes of funk sung by Houdini. And since I'm an avid hip hop fan, hip hop is a part of a lot of things that I do. You may not think it, but it is. And we just gave it the name 5 minutes of heat. What do you have for us today?
All righty. So today, and one last kind of spoiler for the festival, if you do make it, all of my pieces are dedicated to people that I'll be performing during the my 25-30 minute set inside the Huntington Center. So if you're there, you'll probably get to see if you inspire one of those pieces on stage in front of that huge audience. But today, we're going to do one of the first 5 pieces that started me on this journey.
That's what's up.
And shout out to Prophet again, because I would not know how to do radio or entertainment or stuff like that had I not decided to come to an open mic all those many, many years ago. I think back in 2012, and joined a little show called The Cast Off Show, being who you are even when it's unpopular. And one of the first things I did when I got on air was they was asking me about myself, and I described myself as a simple man, not really much important or anything like that. And that's where the title of this comes from. And but first, because I got to practice doing this too as well. My intro, when you do book me or you do have me at a show, is this. I am an open book, yes, an open book to those that decide to read. 1,000 words, yes, 1,000 words to those who've only caught a glimpse of me. And a lifetime, yes, a lifetime to those that can say they were part of my story. If you are anywhere under the sound of my voice, you are now family. Because on this stage, yes, on this stage is where I share the most vulnerable parts of myself. And I hope, yes, I hope that you hear me. So let's begin. Peace. Simple man. I would love to live up to the person people make me out to be. Strong-willed, outspoken, never sheds a tear. Always has a smile on his face, and always, yes, always something positive to say. But I am just a simple man, you see, who most of the time I am filled with fear, regret, and responsibility. But hope, yes, hope that this simple man, yes, this simple man can bring some type of unity into his community. While I bear the full weight, the full weight that I cannot fail, because there's no one, absolutely no one to catch me if I fall. Just a simple man looking for someone to trust as much as I believe in myself, and not be deceived by the few lost souls whose hearts are hardened and calculating from trusting one too many. Just a simple man that is seen through the eyes and lives of others, wants to do more for the lost, forgotten, outcast, and rejects, whose only crime is believing that there is no box. Yes, there is no box, but the one that you create. You see, I am far from being rich and too informed to simply ask for wealth to fix it all. So I lend you my ear and knowledge from past mistakes and hopes just to reach one, yes, one that will evade most of the mistakes that this simple man has made in the time given to him. I want more than I believe time will allow me to complete. I am a simple man with dreams bigger than my wallet and hopes and imagination that cannot be quantified, calculated, or determined, just determined by someone's doubt. But what makes me a simple man, you see, is not faith, age, race, income, fear, or pain, but the fact that while I speak, yes, while I speak, you respond. And I know I'm not alone because I still have yet to reach the audience I need. And peace. Peace. It is very, very interesting. You can find that in volume 2 of my book. I have a lot of books. So the first one was called Tears of the Wounded. It went on all the topics of domestic violence and who that is. The second book was childhood trauma, or not childhood trauma series, that's number 17. But the second book delved into 77 pieces that I took on the road with me all over the world. And yeah, that one is interesting. 9 years old.
Well, man, I can't wait to see you for the African American Festival weekend.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to be at make the whole trifecta. It's just awesome of what's happening to you and for you and the people that's doing this. Nothing like being honored by your own.
Yeah.
All right.
And for my community, every time somebody sees my thumb or my staff or something like that, it knocks out one of those negative things people say about us, because let me be your example.
That's right. And as always, all lives can't matter until
Black lives matter.
And Black lives can't matter until
all Black lives matter.
Justice Royals.
Yeah, yeah.